Hello and welcome everyone. Hope you are doing great. Today we're going to talk about the concept of levels in Revit software. Guys, basically using levels is a necessity when it comes to working on any kind of project in Revit. So we as users should definitely and completely be familiar with the concept. Now, first off, guys, you would actually have access to this item when you're working in elevation views or sections. So in other words, it would be deactivated when you're working in architectural, structural, or ceiling plans. Now, to begin our work, let's enter one of these views, for example, the north view. Alright, as you can see, guys, here, we actually got a couple of levels by default, and also its item has become activated up here as well. Now, first thing that we need to discuss, guys, is how to add more levels. Well, it's quite easy. Just click on the item. Then, immediately afterwards, two panels would be added to our Modify Placement tab, talking about Plan View and Draw. By the way, guys, remember, this panel has been added to Revit since the 25th version. So, in fact, if you're working with a version prior to that, in your quick access toolbar, you can find Make Plan View, but as I said, in the 25th version, it has been relocated to Rebound, and also has been renamed to Create Plan View. As for another point, guys, in previous versions, by default, this item was activated, but since the 25th version, it has become deactivated. I'm going to tell you why. First, let's talk about how to set or draw the levels. We got a couple of methods. Number one, line. As you can see here, we just need to specify 2 points like starting point and the end points, and these level lines would be created for us. And then, guys, as for the second method, we got pick line. If you go with this one, here in the option bar, we need to specify an offset. In other words, the exact elevation code level, like for example, 4,000 millimeters. After that, move your cursor on one of these default level lines and click. And well, we can just keep on going like this. See? Alright, Control Z, let's go back and talk about plan views. Guys, the thing is, the level lines which we learn to set or add up to this point won't be added to our project browser. Alright, let me set this back on 0. So, the thing is, when we set the levels without activating the plan view, guys, the levels would be set in our viewport only as reference levels. I mean, they would kind of work only as some sort of a host for setting other elements, okay? So, let's just cancel this ones and activate plan view. Alright, after activating plan view, guys, underneath it, we would see plan view types. As you can guess from its name, guys, here you would be able to specify the exact type of plan view that you want to have. You got options here such as ceiling plans, floor plans, and structural plans. Ceiling plans would be for your ceilings, obviously. Floor plans for the architectural floors, and structural plans for the structural floors. Now, currently, I don't need the structural plan, so I'm going to deactivate it. And now, if we try setting the levels again, they would also be added into our project browser. Alright, let me go back now. As for another point, guys, you can actually specify factors such as the length of the level lines and also their elevation codes after you set them. Let me show you how. I mean, honestly, this way is faster. After setting them, let's select them all. Then do a right click on one of these levels and select Maximize 3D Extents. Guys, make sure that you would select or do the right click exactly on the level. Alright? As you can see, all the level lines got aligned. And now we can start specifying their elevation codes. As an example, give me 3,400 millimeters. And then basically you can just keep on doing this. You can also specify the codes from here as well, but you need to add up the rest of the codes that you set before. For example, if you got 14,200 up to this point, we need to add it up with 3,400 millimeters. Let me show this to you. It would be like this, guys. 14,200 plus 3,400. Enter. The new level line would be added. Now, for this level, let's go with a different value, like 2,800. All right, now let's say we need to add a parapet here as well. The thing is, they shouldn't be considered as floors, so we need to deactivate this. And then, for example, set a level for it like this. Say it's not added to the project browser, guys, only a reference level for the parapet with 110 cm of height. Also, guys, as for another thing, you can set minus levels. For example, down here. Oh, I forgot to activate the plan view item. And also, we don't need ceiling plans in minus levels. Now, let's set the levels. For the elevation code, first give me minus 3 meters. And then minus 6 meters. Now we can align these manually or just select everything and use maximum 3D extends once more. Next up, guys, by selecting any of these levels, you would easily be able to rename them. For example, B2. All right, take a look at this now. If you select yes, the levels would be renamed both in the viewports and in the project browser. So yes, and then next up, give me B1. And also, guys, we can do this directly from the project browser, see? All right, the next floor would be the ground floor. Next up, we got L1. Yeah, and basically we can continue like this, guys. Let me see for a second. We can have the roof here, I guess, or R1. Then we got the parapet. And at the end, R2. Yeah, so basically this is how you can set and name your levels, guys. Next up, you can select the levels and then open up type properties. Then you can get a duplicate, for example, say arc level. Basically, we can try creating a new type for our architectural levels. Also, you can apply some graphical modifications. Like you can choose a color, also a specific line style, and then a symbol even. And as for the symbols, you can either use a default one or you can just create one. From the Insert tab, you can click on Load Family. Then you can enter your library. Then Annotations, and here we can find and select. Where is it? Here we go. Metric Level Head Triangle Spot. So yeah, let's just select this. And then back in our type properties, select the family. As to another thing, guys, we can get a copy of our symbol's name, search for it in the project browser, then after finding it, do a right click and click on Edit. Then after entering this workspace from the View tab, we can open up Visibility and Graphics and activate Reference Planes. Let's try applying some modifications. For example, select them both and align them on the left. Then we can, for example, move this upwards a bit. Elevation down. Open up Type Properties. Transparent. 0.1. For the font, give me Artifact Elements. Then I want a symbol right behind the elevation. So open up Labels, Edit Labels. Like, for example, plus symbol, minus symbol, or even plus minus. For doing so, we need to click on Add Calculated Parameter, symbol for the name, type text. Now, let's specify a formula. If, open parenthesis, the elevation was equal to 0, double quotation, give us a plus minus symbol. So, hold Alt and type down 177, double quotation again, comma, if, again open parenthesis, elevation was this time greater than 0, double quotation, give us plus, comma, otherwise null. we have two open parentheses, so close them both. Also, I want them to be aligned, so deactivate break. Also here, type down plus and space. Guys, minus symbols would automatically be set. Alright, let me just set this on 0. Yeah, better. Right, now let's try moving these and align them a little bit. Alright, now let's give this a color. Good. By the way, guys, when it comes to naming, try to use capital letters. It's simply more readable. And also, controlling them would be quite easier. So, yeah, let me do this. Now, let's try aligning them one more time. Good. Okay, let's load them in. Select override the existing version. And as you can see, guys, all the symbols are correctly set here. Now we can save this if you wanted to. Now, guys, for the levels that are set quite close to each other, we can, for example, select one. And then we can click on Add Elbow here to create some sort of a break. Now, the current modifications are being applied in the north view. If we were to add these in the south view as well, we just need to select the levels and then up here, click on Propagates Extends. Then we would be able to select the symmetrized view for applying the same modifications. Now we could have done this for the west and east views too, guys. Now, these were the architectural levels. What if we wanted to add some structural levels as well? Well, it's a very simple task. Up here, click on Levels. Then open up Plan View Types, and this time just select Structural Levels. Then we need to specify a minus offset here, guys, because usually the structural levels would be set beneath our architectural levels, and this number could actually differ based on your own projects. Now, let's set our first structural level here and call it SB2. All right. Now, the next level would be SB1. It's actually quite the same as what we did for the architectural levels. SB0. And yeah, basically we can just keep on doing what we're doing. Oh, keep on setting the rest of the levels just like this. Let me add all of them and the roof ones. Okay. Now, select them all and open up Type Properties. Give me another duplicate, and I'm just going to change the name to STR Levels. Now, for the color, give me a neutral one. This, for example. Now, we need to load another family for this. Something proper for structure. Then open up Type Properties again and replace the symbol. Now, you can actually apply the exact modifications as before. For example, I'm just going to get a copy of this because I don't want to create everything again. Edit. Then open up Edit Label and get a copy. Alright, now cancel everything and go back to the viewport. Now paste. Here we go, edit. Alright, select this. We need another calculated parameter, so give me symbol, text, and paste the formula. Alright, plus 0, and all done. Alright, I guess we can do this a little bit better, so open up Visibility and Graphics. And then activate reference planes again. Now, align them or place them on the left. Then, open up Type Properties. Give me a transparent background. Also a color for the text. Then again for the offset here, give me 0.1. Another font. Also change the size and the width factor. Basically same things as before, guys. Maybe a little bit larger though. Alright, now let's try working on their location. Try to place them better. Great. Now, let's load this in. Alright, let's see now. I guess it's better to go with a center alignment here, actually. Wrap activated. Now set the name above the symbol. And then do the same thing for the elevation. Now let's load this in. Guys, these graphical modifications are kind of optional. Now let's talk about some complementary points. Let me close this down and then open up a new project. All right, take a look at this. Guys, when we are trying to reproduce the levels, and it doesn't matter how, like we can use array or we can copy them. Let me just use array here for the sake of our example. Give me like 10 of them, 4 meters of gap. All right, as I was saying, when we reproduce the levels, guys, they would only be added as reference levels. Now, open up Files and click on Options. Then here, from General tab, we would find View Options. Here I'm going to set the default discipline, guys, on Coordination. Then, okay, you know what, let's just go back to our previous file for a second. Guys, if you recall, we specified the names here alphabetically, and as you can see, they are actually being sorted out in this way as well. Now, what if this wasn't the case, though? Well, in that case, for organizing them, you can just do a right-click up here and select Browse Organization. Then select Discipline, Edit. Then from Sorting and Grouping, set the Sort By on Reference Levels. This way, guys, the levels would be sorted out, or you can say would be organized based on their elevation codes in your project browser. And this is way more professional. Now, back to our new project again. If we try doing the same thing here, let's enter the same tab as before. And here, set this on level as well. Alright guys, the thing is we still have to add these levels into our project browser. So, what we need to do here would be entering the View tab, then click on Plan Views. As you can see here, we can see the view types that we talked about previously. I'm going to select Floor Plans. Now, select all of these reference levels and hit OK. By doing this, the levels should be added to your project browser. In case they didn't, though, you just need to check your default discipline. If you recall, we set this on coordination. And these modifications got applied in our coordination as well. So you can find the levels in this segment. Let's select all of them. And then from the Properties tab, change the discipline to what you want. Or you know what, guys? Before doing any of these stuff, you can set your default discipline on the one that you actually want. Alright, guys. After applying all of these modifications and going through all of these settings, you can enter any of these levels that you want and start sketching your plans.